Alright, so a couple days ago, I had to cut this tree down right here. It's growing right beside my building. And I was afraid it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, of course, very fast. This was about that thin right here a couple maybe 8 months ago. You see how big it is now? This is a honey locust. I like to call it the devil tree because look at these thorns, and these things are solid. They're not breaking off. I mean, I'm bending that sucker over. So I've already been stabbed a few times with these, once in the leg and a couple in the hand. It's not fun, but there's another one growing back here in the woods. Sorry for that airplane. You can see when they get bigger, all the little thorns are they're a little smaller. They actually almost turn into branches. And then the big thorns are on the sides, or on the small branches. So when they get bigger, they're not as bad. I mean, there's some little clusters right there in the fork. I got gloves on, so see if I can zoom this in. So there's like a little cluster right there. So that's like a full grown one. So that's not that bad. But when you're dealing with something like this, and this is one of the branches right here, see those things? That's horrible. I don't know why anybody would ever plant something like this or have this in their yard. But anyway, that's why I call it the devil tree. So I had to get rid of this thing. And it was quite an ordeal. Because of course I don't have the proper equipment, because I don't do logging very often. But I've got that's a pump for my septic tank right there. And there's the building, and the house is right behind me. So I basically had to make this thing fall. It was a good ways up, and I had to make it fall like right here, so it didn't hit the house. So I actually did it pretty well. But instead of ropes and stuff, because of course I didn't have a rope long enough to put around it, all I had was a damaged 100-foot extension cord. So I tied that around it as high as I could get it, and then tied it to that tree and pulled it as tight as I could so it would lean it over, and then I just cut it, and I lucked out and it fell perfectly. If it had hit that box right there, I'd have been screwed. But sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So anyway, I'm going to cut this sucker up, and then I'm going to head off to the fields this afternoon when it starts cooling off a little, a couple hours, and see if we can find some arrowheads or anything. Alright, we'll see you later. Oh yeah, and the other thing about these trees, they have these pods, and they stink like soured vinegar, and they're really nasty. Anyway, they fall off this tree and they cover the ground out here. You can see a bunch of them been blown up by the lawnmower. They reek. They sit out here in the sun and just get all nasty. Yeah, they're funky. But if you look closely, see if I can find one. Yeah, these thorns have thorns of their own. Look at that. So sometimes you can think you're missing the thorn and still get poked right in the finger. That's how I got poked at least twice. And then when I was cutting a branch off of this one, the branch slung into my leg and skewered me real good. But yeah, I can't really see a point of having a tree like this unless you were just making punji traps all day long or something. I don't know. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed that. And watch out for those honey locust trees if you're out in the woods, because they hurt. Alright, made it out to the fields. It's really hot, and hopefully it'll start cooling off here in a little bit. This pollen's really got my throat dry. But got plenty of bottles of water, stay hydrated. We're gonna try and walk some of this stuff till it just gets too miserable and hot, and hopefully by then the sun will be down this way, and so the fields back over there will be shady. So anyway, I'll turn this back on if I find anything. I'm not gonna make a big long video of nothing. Alright, hopefully I'll see you soon. Okay, this is interesting to me, even though it's not native. This is a piece of yellow pottery. I haven't found any yellow yet, and I haven't found any on this part of the fields. Everything I've found's either been a few pieces there or way back over there where the home sites were. So this is a good piece away from where there would be any home site. So that's cool. It's got a nice little yellow color to it. I like it. I'm seeing a lot of quartz out here, which is a good sign, but not seeing an abundance of it, you know. It's not as thick as it is down that way where we found the most stuff. But there's no telling, there could be something really good up here. And one good thing, I'm not seeing a lot of human tracks, just deer and raccoons. So that's a good sign. Means nobody's been out here possibly beating me to it. And I'm glad that the stuff's coming up now, because I can just stay in the tractor tracks, and I know I'm not stepping on anything now. So that's a good time to come out here. Alright, I'll turn you guys back on if I find something else cool. Alright, now I just picked up this from right there. Now, I don't know if this is the base and shoulder, and then this side looks broken, of a spear. I mean, look at the shape of it. It's got that ovoid shape. It's really hard to tell if this edge has been worked, because quartz is not always, it doesn't always show nice flakes like other materials do. A lot of times it breaks uneven, but this almost looks like the base to a big spear point. Again, this is broken right here, so it would have been a little wider on that side too, but I think that's what that is. I'm going to take it home and clean it up and look at it a little better, but I mean, the shape even, man, that's awesome if that is. Good Lord, that would have been a huge spear. But I mean, I've seen some, we've already found some big pieces of spears that would have been 3-4 inches long, so, but this one almost looks like it would have been hafted. It's got shoulders on it. That's pretty awesome. I didn't see any other pieces of it around here, so it could have been broken thousands of years ago, but that's cool. Alright, let's keep looking. Okay, now this is interesting. I'm actually up on one of the big hills. The river's right past that tower there. Down here on the ground, there's tons of rocks in these washouts. And I just found this little tiny round river stone. And you can see it's worn smooth right here. You can see it shining, it's so smooth. And then the rest of it, just a standard river rock. So I'm not sure what this was used for, but it was either for grinding stuff and it smoothed it out, or it had a little finger hold here and they were using it for pecking away at stuff. I'm not sure, but that's definitely worn through years of use. So just imagine that bigger, and that's the kind of hammerstones we're finding. So this is a little tiny one. I've never seen one that small. That's awesome. So I'm gonna look around here and see what other cool stuff we can find. Well, the gnats are brutal out here, but I want to show you all this. You got all kinds of tracks out here. We got deer, looks like raccoon. This may be baby deer right here. Then back over here you got old Mr. Bobcat. Some more deer, of course my tracks. And here they're kind of intersecting. You got the bobcat walking and the deer. He's actually following right along his footprints. That's kind of interesting. And there's kind of a little game trail. Oh man, I got gnats flying all my eyeballs. That's weird. There's a little game trail going through there. Well, these gnats are brutal. But anyway, I was just going to check out these washouts and see if anything was showing, because the river's right over that hill. To be honest with you, this would be a much better place to find stuff, but they don't till up this far. Whew. Man, it's so hot out here today. Found a couple more just perfectly round river stones, and they didn't have any kind of finger grooving or wear on them. They were small also, so I'm kind of curious about that, if they were using that for decoration or something. I don't know. Don't know why they would collect all those tiny little river stones, but like I say, they don't belong up here in fields. I'll look along the edge over here. I'm not gonna go walking that way because that's just tick central and chigger territory. Probably covered with them anyway. Rifle casing. 30-06, yep. It would be fun to bring a rifle out here, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal. This is just for, you're only allowed to come out here and bird hunt with a shotgun. God, man, I got gnats flying all around me. But it would be cool to put a target way up there and shoot it. But I'm pretty sure people come out here and illegally hunt deer and stuff. Alright, I'm going to head back over to the other field where we found that old pottery for the day and finish walking out some of it before I get too worn out, can't go anymore. I want to save some energy and come out here again tomorrow maybe. Well, there's a nice breeze blowing over here in this field. Feels so good. But look at this crap. Somebody just dumped all their freaking water bottles out here. I don't have a bag in my truck, but I'm going to pick these up. At least the caps are sitting around. I'm going to pick these up and throw them in my truck. Get them out of here. I mean, it's like, what? Come on, man. Just take your crap out with you. You're leaving. I don't know. People are weird. Alright. Well, I think we're going to start back on this side and maybe go around the other side behind that wheat. Because I don't think we've really ever done anything back on that side. We'll see. It's going to be pretty hot over there too. What do y'all make of this? This is like a groundhog tunnel. There's like little holes every once in a while. And it keeps on going. That's a big poo of something. Sorry about that. I don't know if that's just a split in the dirt, it's not a hole. That might be a little entrance hole. Nope. And then it just kind of runs under this tractor tire mark, and then it breaks off again, maybe. Yeah. Huh. I wonder if that's like a little mole or groundhog. There it goes. That's interesting. We'll walk up through here in the shade and see if the last few big rains has exposed anything we haven't seen before. Because if y'all recall, we've checked these areas before because all this was corn last time. We didn't have a lot of access to this field, but you never know what the rain might bring out. This looks like they're building a fire ant mound, and it'll eventually look like that. It's pretty interesting. I've never seen them actually building one. Usually you just come out of your house and overnight they build a huge mound. Well, that's interesting. Try and stay away from that. Well, that's what you don't want to run into. Fire ants are moving their nest. Yeah, they're going along. Glad I wasn't walking on that side. Let's see where they're coming out of. So I gotta make sure I step over them. Looks like right here. And they are moving stuff out, so yeah, must have had a mound up under. That's weird, it's not elevated. Fire ants always build an elevated nest. It might have got washed out in the last rain or something. Here's some more of them. Starting to build them up. They'll be all over this field before long. I'll be stepping in and won't be able to see them because all the crops growing. Alright, go back this direction and head back toward the truck and take a break. My back's starting to feel it. Alright, quick wrap up video of what we found so far. I didn't show all this stuff. This is that little rock that's been pecked and smoothed, so it was obviously a tool. This break is fresh. This damage is old. All this damage right here, so I'm not sure what they were using this for, but that's definitely a tool of some kind. And here's a couple other similar rocks I found right near it. Little small river rocks again, pretty far and high up off the floodplain of the river. This could be a piece of a spear point, just kind of the middle section. So I don't know if this is the point end or if it would have gotten smaller up here and this was the base. I'm not sure, but Judging by the shape of that, and it's got two edges, and they've possibly been worked a little. Again, with quartz, it's a little harder to tell with quartz, but the shape's a pretty good giveaway that, and it's pretty straight, that was a spear point. And this, I believe, is the base of a spear point. You can actually see where a flake was taken right there on that notching. Same with that right there. There's some, see those little flakes been driven off right there. Oops, sorry, went out of focus there. And I believe this is the stem, and this is the shoulder, and this shoulder is broken right here. So that would have been a pretty good sized spear. Of course, when you're, you know, taking on Ice Age sized creatures, you probably need something pretty big. Then I got a big chunk of that black and white pottery. Don't know if this is a big serving dish or the edge of a, maybe a, what am I trying to say? Maybe like a butter churn or something. Here's a big plate piece. I've looked at all these to make sure that I haven't missed something awesome like last time. None of these have any maker's marks. Here's some more of the green. Again, that's off like a butter churn or big pot. And then these two may go together, but they're different pieces. One, the design is on the inside curve, and this one, the design's on the outside. So what I'm thinking is a little saucer and a coffee cup, perhaps. So that would have been like a little coffee cup there with little designs around it. And this design is pretty close. And that was probably the saucer that it went on. They were found pretty close together. And I found all of this except for this yellow piece. The yellow piece we found in the same fields where we found this other stuff. All of this was found just right out here. Right near where that home site was. The house would have been right here. Right around behind this pine tree. And then of course the other one is back there in the woods. But, so that's pretty cool. Little by little I'm finding more of their stuff. And here's a piece of really old glass that was probably one of the windows. I'm not sure. I don't know how thick glass would have been in windows back then. But it's real kind of foggy and frosted looking. So that could have been some window glass. Alright, so I'm going to chill out and drink a little bit. It's about 6:30. And I'm going to rehydrate, and maybe we'll go up here and look in that field a little bit. The sun's finally going down behind the trees, man. It was getting rough. Alright, see you in a bit. Big buck. Pretty good sized deer. Too bad he didn't do me a favor and leave his antlers sitting right here. Kind of inconsiderate of him if you think about it. Alright, let's keep looking here. Got a lot of nice little flakes of stuff sitting around. It's hard to say what was done by the plow and what was done by humans when they're that small. Well, this is pretty cool. I just picked this up right there. If I can get my camera to focus. Look at that. I'm guessing that's the base, and there would have been a tip on it. That is awesome. I've never seen nothing like that. Look at that. Wow. That is super cool. Well, that's a screenshot right there. Whew. Just sitting right there. Dig around a little bit and see if there. I doubt the tip's in there, but you never know. It feels like there's another rock sitting right there too. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Man, that's in there. Yeah, that's just another chunk of something. Well, that is awesome. I've never seen something like that. That's cool. Alright, let's keep looking. Man, I ain't even been over here 2 minutes. Sorry for the runny nose there, but there's a lot of pollen out here in these fields. Alright, let's keep looking right around here where it's shady. Alright, so cleaned up my points and stuff. So this is all the stuff we found. This was the little hammerstone or whatever this was. I'm not even 100% sure, but basically this kind of little pecked and smoothed area on one of the larger rocks would be a finger groove. I don't know what it is on this little teeny tiny one. They could have used it for grinding stuff. I really have no idea. I've never seen a little tool stone that small, so I'm not really sure what that's for. But that's definitely man-made damage right there. This I didn't show on camera. This is one of the things I found toward the end before I left. I believe this is a scraper. Let me switch hands here. Yeah, I believe this is a scraper. If I can get the light right, you can see where there's flakes driven off the edge of it. There's a big flake right there. There's a nice one right there. So this has been worked, and I believe this is a scraper. So that's pretty cool. It's broken right here, so it would have been larger. Excuse me. They go by different names: thumb scraper, turtleback scraper. Not sure, but that's what I believe that is a scraper. This is most likely a stemmed Appalachian spear point. Would be Middle Archaic. This one's kind of the middle section out of a Guilford, most likely. That's kind of the majority of the larger blades and spear points I've found out there have been non-stemmed, just kind of that basic long blade shape, and that's kind of a Guilford. And this is most likely the base of a Yadkin. So that would be Middle Archaic. This one I think is Middle Archaic, and this is Woodland to Mississippian culture. So that's a lot of time period to find all these in one spot, not to mention all the other stuff we found. So we're covering everything from Archaic to the Woodland and Mississippian culture all in one basic couple hundred acres. But I'm really digging this one. That's probably one of the coolest things I've found so far. I mean, I hate that it's broke, but man, just the workmanship in this. I mean, that's hard to do. Quartz is ornery to work with anyway. I'm sorry my camera keeps jumping in and out of focus, but that's just awesome. So on to the other stuff we found. After cleaning stuff up, I realized I did miss a few things. I found this piece off camera. It's part of a coffee cup, most likely. Y'all saw these two. Found out after cleaning this one, it's got some kind of embossment on it. I don't know what that would be, but maybe we'll find some more of it out there and we can figure it out. But these go together, and I think this goes with this. This all seems to be about the same thickness and coloration. And actually, I'm kind of wondering about this piece that I found before, if that might be kind of goes with this stuff. It's the same kind of little dainty blue drawing, about the same thickness. So I think those all go together. And then over here, I found some more of these pieces with the little fleur-de-lis. That one's kind of hard to see. You can kind of make it a little bit of it out there. There's a little bit of a fleur-de-lis pattern. And I don't know if y'all recall, but we found this piece a couple months ago. So that all goes together. So that was one cup or whatever it may have been. So that's kind of cool. And that's pretty much the best of the stuff we found. The rest of it's all just basic housewares that doesn't really have any kind of markings or anything cool, but excuse me. But hopefully we can find some more of this and figure out what this little doodad is on it. But I'm really stoked about that little sucker. That is cool. And I hate that this one was broken. I mean, even just the other side, the other shoulder there, that would have been cool, but that would have been a good sized blade or a spear point. And this scraper was pretty cool. I think I may have actually found another piece of this one time, and I kept doubting myself that it wasn't a scraper. But this one, there's definite flakes driven off of it. You can see one right there shining. It's a little easier to see without the camera and all, but yeah, those are definite flakes driven off of there. So that's been worked. So that's cool. And if anybody knows what this may be, this tiny little river stone that's got almost like a finger groove in it, let me know. Alright, we'll see you on the next one. Appreciate y'all watching.